Hey everyone, Chris here. So somebody had asked a question about what I was describing happened to the boats in the anchorage last night when we jumped 200 feet directly towards this other boat who had come and anchored near us. So I figured the best way to do that would be to draw on it. So let's take a little drawing time. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's match this. So we sailed into so here we go. We got our land kind of area. And the cove goes down like this. So most people anchor down here because it's closer to all the cool stuff, and we anchor way out here. So we anchor, and we've got a 5-to-1 scope for high tide. So we've got our little radius of where we're swinging, and then when low tide comes, because there's a 10-foot tidal range, we've got a slightly bigger. I'm exaggerating a little bit. So there we go. So the wind had been blowing in this direction all day, so we were about here, and so somebody came in and they dropped their anchor about here. And honestly, if it were a settled day and there was nothing going on and whatever, actually, I think they probably dropped their anchor about here and they had blown over to about here. But anyway, they were close. And so then the wind was blowing in this direction at about, I think it was 5 knots. So a light breeze. And we have all chain. So what does that mean? That means we've got our water and our land, and we've got our anchor. And because we have chain, the chain is heavy and it sits on the bottom until it goes to the boat when there's not a lot of breeze. But there was no breeze, so even though the wind was going in this direction, we were still over here, and we were pointed like so. And just the weight of the chain was enough to keep us away from the anchor. So our anchor was way behind us. So the dude probably thought our anchor was over here and that we were like that. He didn't realize that our anchor was behind us. And then, let's go back to our illustration here. The wind went from about 5 knots to about 35 knots in about 10 minutes. And then suddenly the weight of the chain wasn't enough to hold us right there with what was essentially a 1-to-1 scope. So we flew backwards. And eventually we had our chain going down up to our sailboat, and the anchor never moved. But this poor guy saw us go from over here where the weight of the anchor, where the weight of the chain was enough to keep us there. He saw us go all that way, and I'm sure he pooped his pants. But anchor held, all was good. So always remember, boats can move in weird ways in the anchorage, especially when the wind picks up. Anyway,